you have your co-host here to the right, Sir Rick, sitting next to the big host, the big guy, Drive Safe Dave, on a fun-filled weekend. Lots of sports. Drive Safe, where are we going to start? We're going to start Cowboys. We're going to start college football.
Let's go college football and then move up in the rank.
All right, I'm down with that. A lot of college football. I cannot believe Iowa lost to a Purdue team, right? That kind of sneaks back into the top 25. Iowa loses, makes room for that Alabama team back in the top 4 where they belong. Life is good again. Georgia, once again, just showing their dominance as they put it on a undefeated Kentucky team as well.
Yeah, they did really well, and I will tell you that I saw Alabama come back and smash, made a statement, definitely wanted to make a statement what was going on. But as you know, Texas A&M moved up to number 17. I just want to make an announcement.
That's why you saw the top 16 there. We left A&M
I noticed that. I noticed that. You did make purpose that number 17 wasn't on the top 25 list.
Who cares about the top 7? And you know what? I think the top 16 is important enough. Speaking of top, before we get to that, the football, the NFL, let's talk about these numbers. 153 days of driving safe. That's what you All-Stars are doing out there today. Big hoorah. No bigger fan than Sir Rick right here. Boy, I wear your colors all the time. I've got your jersey on all the time. Drive safe, Dave. Phenomenal. Hey, get out of my picture, big guy. Come on now.
Sorry about that. I was drifting around doing a little bit of movement, trying to, raise the roof, trying to be happy, trying to dance around a little bit to not only talk about the 153, but talk about the 38 days of getting out and looking, making sure that we recognize that effort as well, because continue that streak makes a difference. Makes a difference in what we do, makes a difference in the safety, and makes a difference for each and every one of us out there doing what we do. Let's recognize that 38 too.
Big recognition on that. Congrats, good job, way to go. Now we go to the NFL, and yes, those Dallas Cowboys, they do it
nice.
Drive on top in the NFC.
Throws it down the field. It's caught at the 10, and this game is over. The Cowboys win it.
Such a good guy.
CD
Lamb. Bye. We're going. That was it. And you know what? I'll tell you
the play on the
Cowboys now have won as many games as all the other teams in the NFC East combined.
NFC East bad, but you know what? That's not going to put a damper on those Cowboys. Let me tell you, they are for real. We're seeing a team right now that it's been a while since we've seen. It's a fun offensive team, right? The defense, they have the takeaways, and we've seen another interception once again for a touchdown that comes in and comes into play, right?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something, defense a little bit weak, and they're saying, hey, that's why we're having that up and down on the Vegas. Vegas not too crazy yet about the Cowboys, only because of that defense. And we let some scores come in.
Oh, yeah, right after the very next play, after the interception of the pick six, they throw a 75-yard touchdown pass for a touchdown. So, yeah, you got to shore that up. But I'll tell you what, that defensive back is explosive. He is really good. What is that, number 4 or 5 picks that he's got for the season?
That's 7 picks
for
in
him.
6 games. Yeah, 7 picks, 6 games. He's got more than, I can't remember how many NFL teams alone. And yes, if you're wondering, he is from the University of Alabama, Roll Tide. So once again, y'all and you Texas folks are getting a little taste of what it's like to be Alabama.
Okay, so do you see a little bit of Deion in this guy? Do you see a little bit of Deion in the way he closes in on the ball? I mean, I'm telling you, I see a little bit of Deion Sanders in this guy.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, a little early on that. I think Deion a little bit more showtime for sure on Deion's side. But you know what? That was Deion's idol. And Deion was everybody's idol. Drive safe, Dave. Spent a week nearly in Chicago going over some insurance, visiting some customers. And drive safe, what we saw was a lot of pizza. Let me tell you something.
Yes.
A lot of
Chicago
there
style.
was deep style pizza. I participated in that, I think, every day. Love the pizza. Big fan of the pizza.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Also got to see the Chicago. Look at the town there, Drive Safe.
Oh,
Dave.
yeah.
The first time I really had spent any time in Chicago, traffic galore going there, traffic galore going out. But you can see the Jelly Bean right there.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that thing, but everybody else has. So you got to get a picture.
So you
of the
did a lot
jelly
of
beans.
sightseeing, it seems like.
We went around. We saw. There's Sir Rick. Let me tell you something. There, we have Cal Ripken Jr. coming down to Chicago to get his picture with Sir Rick.
Right,
that was a big deal for Cal Ripken. I autographed a jersey for him,
Did you?
gave it to him so he'd make
One
sure
of
he
his
had
jerseys,
it in exchange for a ball. So it was kind of cool to meet Cal Ripken, to hear some stories from Cal Ripken, to take a look at that city and drive safe. Dave, I don't know if you spent much time in the city or not, but man, it's a baby New York. It is. There are a lot of big buildings in that city.
There are. Did you go up to the Sears Tower?
No, you know what? So they had so Saturday was open house day, and that's when they allow everybody inside to go up and visit the top stories of all the buildings. And it doesn't cost anything. Open house, the only time in the year that happens. But Kendra, my wife, not a big fan of the elevator, so wasn't going to take the stairs to go up to the Sears Tower
that is
there.
not.
Saw
that's
Wrigley,
not to me.
saw the Trump Tower,
Oh, nice.
saw all sorts of just amazing architecture
Canals,
out
yeah,
there.
It's pretty neat. I think the one time I was there, I went there on St. Patty's Day one year, and it was pretty neat. But pretty cool area, pretty awesome. And did you besides the pizza, which is awesome, Chicago style pizza? What else? Where else did you eat? What else? Other items?
I don't know. Pizza, good breakfast. I definitely had my share of food. Only gained 4.5 pounds, so not too shabby
There
there.
we go.
There's some breakfast right there. Those are the hash browns. Behind that is Kendra had some crepes. I had some kind of barbacoa dish that was phenomenal.
That looks good.
All good food in Chicago. If you haven't been there, you can go see the big buildings, but go eat. Good food, good pizza, good
Go
breakfast. That's all I got to say on that. Drive safe, Dave. A lady up in Canada, she wakes up
Oh yeah,
to a meteor.
no,
Right? I mean, did it almost hit her?
Yeah, it landed in the pillow next to her. Look at this. This rock. Imagine waking up and this coming through the ceiling, landing next to you in the pillow. It could have killed her. I'll tell you, that is a big piece. For that right there, very rare for that large of a rock to come all the way through our atmosphere and make it, and then hit something. But
Let's say 1 in 100 billion. And you know what?
Yeah.
You can't win the lottery yet. You get hit by a 1 in 100 billion. I'm saying
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah.
What does she do with the rock? This producer, can she sell that and make any money?
Probably so.
Yeah,
I am not sure what the exact kind of price tag would be on that. But given that really the only places that have those kinds of rocks are scientific institutions,
So can
I'm
they just
betting
come
she
and take
can.
it? Hey, in the name of science.
No.
In the name of
No.
science.
I'm gonna have to claim this rock here. This is mine now.
So I didn't know. And Drive Safe, it also made me wonder, was that a spell, right, from the old wizard?
Oh, my
The
God.
old wizard that is now jobless. Did he put a spell on this lady to have this meteor hit her?
He did say he doesn't do bad spells. He does good spells for children and other people. He doesn't do a lot of curses. He
Producer,
tries to-
tell us a little bit about this wizard here.
Well, this is the official wizard of New Zealand, who is the only state-appointed wizard in the entire world, and he was actually on the public payroll, earning an average of $16,000 a year. So he had been contracted by the Christchurch City Council for the past 2 decades to promote the city through quote-unquote acts of wizardy and other wizard-like services, for, of course, that $16,000 a year. But unfortunately, the city did cut his payroll, putting an end to the 23-year legacy.
At some point, COVID comes out and makes an impact on all of us, right? They make you go back and revisit your budget. And all of a sudden, the wizard became not needed. He became extra. You know
I
what,
think-
wizard? Your time on here is done.
I think he became a little controversial. Isn't that really? He actually became a little controversial in some of his sayings, in some of his quotes, a little edgy. You know, when you get a little popular,
Producer, what do you got?
Yeah, and to go off of that, one of the officials actually wrote, "I'm concerned that your wizardry is not at the disposal of the entire nation." So they're like, you're kind of leaning a little bit away from New Zealand. But also, I'm kind of surprised at how tall this guy is compared to the rest of the people in New Zealand. He seems like maybe he was casting some spells on himself as opposed to anybody else.
standing on something.
I'm thinking, yeah, you know what? Look how tall. He's probably my height or buckle up Bob's height, just standing on a stump in the back.
Yeah, he's on a bench or a chair.
Hey, drive safe. We're going to come back, but before we talk about this, I want to make a real quick talk on the freight right now. We see the freight's pretty heavy, right at 15,411. We just want to make sure that we see that last week was a holiday week, and although not a major holiday, a holiday on a Monday is a holiday on a Monday. We expect the freight to spike at the end of starting today on, and we expect it to kind of follow suit in what happened in the purple. That was last year. We expect the freight to go up a little by little by little. Hey, let's face it, we are now in peak season. So it's here, it's upon us, and although the rejections, again, don't seem crazy at 20.85 last year at 24.5, they're very, very high. We expect to see higher spot market freight. We expect to see a big influx in volume right now as we move into the peak season. Hey, so put your seatbelts on. Get ready to rock and roll. It is freight time here in the United States, and it's not going to slow down. If you don't believe me, hey, let's take a look, Drive Safe Dave, at some of the pictures of the containers out in California still. And when you look at these pictures here, you'll see, hey, guess what? There's a few ships still left to unload.
72, I think they said.
and some of these pictures of the they're just stacked higher and higher. Not even the Great Wizard can stand up and look above these things.
Look at that. Isn't that crazy?
That's unreal.
And most of that's all being loaded and done by robots, right? It's all being done that's crazy. That's a lot of containers just sitting waiting to be pulled out.
And I know we're going into that 24/7 period in there. It's going to take a little bit for that to even work, right? Because you still got to have the Walmarts, the Amazons to stay open on the 24/7 operation that Biden's trying to put in. Produce, have you seen anything? What's the latest news or what's the worry about the 24/7? Are they saying why it may or may not work on that?
I haven't seen anything that has really developed other than what we've been reporting on already. I think we're still in the early stages of even trying to get into the 24-hour, 365 time period that we were wanting to work towards. I honestly think it's going to take a couple weeks before we really see the full effects on the supply chain here, or even the mental toll that it's going to take on some of these workers and the staff that's going to be at the Port of Long Beach. So it's going to take a little while until we see some real developments in that, but hopefully it'll start to ease some of the pains that we're seeing right now.
I did see an article from the drayage guys from the Drayage Association out there, almost 18,000 strong, did say they were suggesting the difficulty that might take place because of staffing issues on the back end and to secure the inbound containers, because they don't want to be running in there empty. They want to make sure that they take containers in. That way they can get full money on the circle, on the pull in and on the pull out. So they're worried that there's still going to be a lot of missed appointments because there's no staffing on the other side.
Yeah, and the 24/7, let's face it, it's aimed at productivity.
Absolutely.
It's not going to increase drivers at all. And I do say this as well as many things what we're seeing right now across this country is an investment into the into machinery, into items that will increase productivity. As the U.S., as these businesses have a lot of money right now, the one thing we don't have are a lot of workers. Okay, and when we don't have workers, the money, the investment we in this country see right now going purely into items that increase productivity, machinery that takes the place of the human being, right? If they're not there, guess what? We in this country, one thing we're not going to do is sit out and wait. We're not going to wait for you to get up and go to work. We're going to find something to take your place. And Drive Safe Dave, that's one thing, a major item we're seeing right now in this country is a huge investment in those items.
Yeah, you got to look to technology for answers. If you don't have the answer in manual labor, you got to go to look for the technology to do the answer. It was really interesting that as you watch that Port of LA, you'll see all of the robots running back and forth on just what looks like a chassis moving around on the ground. Those are all done automatically, and all those arms and everything. The only thing not operated by robots, I think, in the Port of LA is the actual cranes that dip into the ships. And I think everything else is automated.
All right. Hey, we're going to be back in about 60 seconds. We got some news on Amazon, and we got some accusations going on saying, hey, either they may not be telling the whole story, and this is from Congress to them, giving them one more chance to come clean, drive safe. I think we've done that with our kids many times. All right, son, last time, tell me the truth. Did you take the cookie or not? And we're going to hear, I think, in the upcoming weeks on were they just bending the truth, or as the producer said, it's just probably a lie. Either you're telling the truth or you're lying. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Welcome back to BCB Live. Yes, you guessed it, we're the safest station in the nation. And while we come to you celebrating 153 days, 38 days of driving, of backing safe as well, right? That means you're getting out and looking. Boy, I drive safe, Dave. I don't, before we get to Amazon, I just want to emphasize the greatness of where we are right now.
You know, you look at it, you're looking at 5 full months of accident-free, and you're looking at a full month of doing it right and continuing the streak and moving forward. You know, it's nice to look back. It's nice to see where we've been and see the success that we've done so far, but we still have to focus on today. We still have to focus on what we're doing today and making sure that what we do out there is something that we didn't do yesterday, which is be better. We got to be better than we were yesterday and the day before. It's an ongoing thing. It's a long journey. It's not a finish line deal. It's actually a journey.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of videos, and you've seen the videos right there next to us of some pretty close calls. We've seen the intersections getting close to the vehicles that we've almost run up on. Okay, and when we talk about these videos that we share with you, we want you to know, again, to remind yourself to stay focused at today, that argument that you have and right now with your spouse. Hey, guess what? Pull over and have it. You know, I'd like to say don't have it, but I'm no marriage counselor. I'd say pull over and continue with that and stay strong. Don't give up your point.
What?
You are right.
Whoa. That is not the message we're giving out here. That is not the message. What we are doing, though, is giving out the message of safety and making sure that you do pull over when you need to. And if you are stressed out or if you are unfocused on the job at hand, find a way to get back there.
Hey, what's the one thing? Let's just go into that. What's the one thing that you and Miss Dover argue about? Is there only one thing? Just get it to one.
So many. I think, believe it or not, I know this sounds like a silly question, but we truly argue about what we're going to eat because I don't want to know what we're doing, and then I call her and ask her, have you ever get that, hey, what are we doing? I don't know. What are you doing? Yeah, you.
I get the old, you know what, you pick, I'm not picky, and I say it, and she doesn't want it.
Yeah.
You know what? Or
my wife tells me, I've made too many decisions today. You're making this one. I'm not making another one. And
or my wife will say, she'll come up and say, you know what, man, I could go for a salad somewhere. I'm like, I don't want a salad. I'm not going to soup and salad. I'm not going to Chick-fil-A for a grilled thing. What's really for dinner? That's what I want to know. I wonder how many folks, out there, if dinner time is that argument, probably you out there driving, it's probably not you, but for, people that are going to the house every day, that is a major argument point right there. It's a pretty important thing too, right? It's what we do. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, some big accusations, right? Coming down from Congress to Amazon.
Yeah, we're talking about a congressional investigation on antitrust violations by major business. And let me tell you, when you're called before Congress and you lie, you can get into big trouble.
So do this. The antitrust. Basically, what's that mean?
That's where large businesses collectively close out and squeeze out smaller businesses or other businesses and make sure that their business grows without and using unfair practices.
Yeah, so when we talk about Amazon, right, we look at, phone chargers. You know what? You go in there and all of a sudden now, wham, the first ones you see, they're all Amazon phone chargers.
Best picks.
Yes, right, best picks, best rated, everything is Amazon. Batteries, Amazon. Diapers, Amazon. You know, what is not Amazon? And so what this is going after is saying, hey, you know what? The third-party sellers are saying, hey, they're using our information, to create their own private labels. Why?
Yep.
Well, I'm going to go out and say that for some reason, I have a hunch that says, you know what? These batteries that Duracell are selling, boy, they sure do sell out a lot. How about we make our own batteries or create our own label and put them just ahead of
Right.
Duracell bestseller?
Or even more in a package or even a bigger package or whatever, but find a different way to sell the same thing, but sell our item and sell our stuff. And I'll tell you, it's crazy. Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
Well, on top of that, they also, because they're making everything in-house, they don't have to pay for any of the shipping to bring in all these other supplies. They can just make it themselves. Gets cheaper in their supply chain. They send it out for just a couple cents cheaper, and it makes it a little bit tastier whenever you buy the Amazon ones as opposed to the Duracell.
Yeah, but see, and as a partner in this selling purchase, they're utilizing the data given to them by these third-party people that is proprietary, and they're taking that data themselves and applying it to their own sell techniques so that they can benefit from it greatly and squeezing out the very people that they've partnered with.
Oh, yes. Hey, producer, show a couple of the quotes we're seeing right here. And particularly the one we want to look at is, there you go. At best, this reporting confirms that Amazon misled the committee. At worst, it demonstrates that Amazon may have lied to Congress.
What's the difference?
Yeah, your producer said it best. What is the difference? Right?
What is the difference?
That's going to be a very uncomfortable seat to take the second time.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a very when you're going to have to change the story, or if you do, or at this point, Drive Safe Dave, do you just stick to it? We strongly encourage you to make use of this opportunity to correct the record and provide the committee with sworn, truthful, and accurate responses to this request as we consider whether referral of this matter to the Department of Justice for criminal investigation is appropriate. Those are words you don't want to see. Right? Those are words
but
you don't want to see.
They strike, you struck once, so you're back at the plate and you're going to swing again. I mean, I'll tell you, and as always, they're going to have that statement by the people that says we at no time intended to mislead or whatever, and they're going to have those statements. But what's going to be the catch here is that if accurate data from their information and their internal emails demonstrates otherwise, they're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, they're going to be, and you know what? For those of you, you can see us on LinkedIn, right? You can see us on YouTube. And there's a reason why BCB Live hasn't been on Amazon and Drive Safe. It's because we don't know if this would happen, right? BCB Live. Would that be the new thing sold by Amazon that kind of takes a thing off us?
Yeah, and then try to take away a little bit of safety from us. And you know what? And market that in a different and new package.
a taller server and a thinner Drive Safe Dave would probably work, right? Would probably sell.
Delivered to you in 2 days or less.
However, the one person who would be safe, and this would be the producer. He's young. He's got all of his hair, no fat on him still. Just a striking, handsome young man.
Yeah.
It would just be me, but with a mustache. They'd be like, "Oh, this isn't the producer. This is the videographer on the studio today. Take us away."
All right. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, we're going to be back with some more news in about 60 seconds. This is BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation.
Hey, and here we are back. Hey, I just want to make sure that we continue to remember what's going on across the country. There's several things that are happening, and I'll tell you one of the most interesting things that's going on right now is the continued evacuation as we publicly reveal of the basically going in and upping the evacuations from not only American citizens but all other citizens that are allied with the United States out of Afghanistan as they continue to find internal and infrastructure problems within the country. The Taliban at this point, we have seen, they have said they were a softer and much kinder Taliban as we went forward in their publications, but we are seeing a genuine return to the more armed response, more forceful Taliban in the country, and their very restrictive laws becoming more and more into effect. I do see that there is a restriction on schools for children and especially women. There is a lot more laws that are going to be going into effect there as we continue to see them reinvent the country again under their regime. And I do see more and more people are going to want to evacuate that area. I do think that the United States has already issued out several documentations at this time to allow for more visas into the country of the United States, and also other countries throughout the world are also allowing and opening up visas to bring in more people fleeing the regime as we see it and what's going on. So it is something that we want to continue to eye and keep a very close watch on, as this is a continuing story. Even though we have evacuated the region, there is a large vacuum that has taken place, and there is even an internal struggle going on in Afghanistan as we speak between the Taliban and the very far right regime going on out there. What you got?
Hey, drive safe, Dave. I know you're our White House reporter. I have a question for you. How hard is it, or how many visas are we seeing to get inside of Afghanistan?
That number, actually, the United States has sent out a telling everyone it's not a good idea to visit Afghanistan at this time.
Still not one of the tourist areas to go
Absolutely.
see.
And in fact, not a lot of travel going to, not a lot of inbounds going to that country. But I will tell you, it is a very serious matter in trying to evacuate some of the personnel that's still there. You know, we think about it, we're like, why are there so many people still there, and why were there so many civilians there? Look, we were there for a very long time, and we created business there and infrastructure there that was just not all military, right? We had military advisors, we had civilian, we had all kinds of people.
Spies.
Yeah, what? Not spies. We had industrialists there. We had other people there to open up different businesses, schools, water treatment facilities.
Hey, what happened to the water? Did they or the electric bill? Did they pay their bill or not? Anybody know?
No, they have not yet. They have yet to pay their bill.
They're going to be without power, drive safe, Dave. And it was a chilly 50-something degrees here. It's going to be chilly over there for long, producer.
Yeah, they did actually have to go out and get assistance from other countries to actually pay that off.
Wow.
So that did get paid off, but not exactly by the Taliban. Although in better news, some of pay the bill or but the all-female orchestra that was located in Afghanistan, that was like a U.S.-sponsored school, did actually get to evacuate a couple weeks ago, I believe. So they were stuck there for a while. Actually, it was a kind of a developing story, but they did finally get to evacuate. So that is some good news in that sense. We are seeing more groups of people who are U.S.-sponsored getting to evacuate the country and come somewhere where it's going to be a little bit safer for them.
You know, I saw an article the other day, or not actually, a news piece, where they had Taliban members inside a music school, and they were looking at the music. One of the Taliban members said, I don't know what any of these things are, and they're not important, and we don't need them. And that was in reference to every musical instrument that was in the school. So it's not something that they're going to promote or even invest in right now. So I think it's bad for the arts, and I think it's bad for the ideology of what.
Hey, well, let's turn this frown upside down. Drive safe, Dave. It is time for that phrase that pays. It's Monday, and we know that you're waiting on it. Drive safe, Dave. Give us that phrase that pays.
BCB Live isn't just a safety show. It keeps you focused and helps you grow.
Oh, one more time.
BCB Live isn't just a safety show. It keeps you focused and helps you grow.
Drive safe, Dave. We got a minute Tell us what that means, my friend.
Hey, we're not just here just for safety. Even though it's primary and even though we want you to be safe all the time, we're here to make a better you. A better you in so many ways. Not only a better informed you, a better questioning you, a better you in just about every way. Right, Sir Wick? We're here to fulfill all your morning needs on the drive time to let you know that you are number one, and it is more going on here. So join us here at BCB Live.
Safest station in the nation.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News over the UK, they have the Army personnel getting ready to start driving the fuel truck. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob.
And most importantly, safety.
You can do many things to communicate that you are slowing down. You can flip your hazards on.
Expect craziness like this all the time.
75% of these fatal accidents involving these trucks are with the first two, and it's the driving too fast and tailgating. If this driver hadn't slowed down, this could have been a whole different outcome.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another week. You're all doing a great job. So we're going to start this morning with some traffic. Just as a reminder, you can see the DFW area is really congested this morning. A lot of slowdowns in your commute. There was an accident early this morning in a construction zone that had some traffic delay there before the workers were there, but just be mindful of that construction zone. A lot of the major cities have the constructions, in their areas anyway, as the populations grow and more vehicles get on the roadway. You can see the DFW. We've got lots of major slowdowns all around the loop, even heading over into the Fort Worth area as well. So, again, you're going to have to pack your patience this morning and just remind, hey, it is what it is. It's congestion. It's I've lost my workflow, going to work. Traffic, so we'll move to Kansas City. I just lost that train of thought there, producer. Kansas City looks great. As you can see, the loop around Kansas City looks good. Just a little bit of slowdown up here north of Riverside and out here in Blue Springs, but really nothing should slow your commute this morning. Chicago looks really good as well. You can see all the loops look pretty clear. Again, we always have the slowdown in Bolingbrook, but it's not very big. So you've got just some little, maybe 5 to 10 minute slowdowns around the loops going around Chicago this morning. See a little bit of showers popping in there out in the left or in the west, but not too bad this morning as you come into the Chicago area as well. Philadelphia, New Jersey looks a little bit congested back here south of Haddon by Deptford and again out here in Downington. But all in all, just the normal, typical 30-minute slowdowns coming into the city off the turnpike. The loop looks pretty good. You have a few spots where you might see some 10 to 15-minute slowdowns, but all in all, the commute in Philadelphia area looks pretty good this morning. Atlanta it's really congested this morning. The South Loop is usually the best way to go if you can take that option going around Atlanta, and you must go around Atlanta. You can see a lot of heavy traffic coming through the city and around the northern and east and west side loops, as well as coming in from the west into the loop. You're going to see some slowdowns and coming from the east as well as you come into the Atlanta area. A few little showers starting to creep into the area as well this morning. I don't know what that is, but hey, here we are in Nashville. Nashville's really congested this morning as well. You see 24. You look like you're going to have about a 40-minute delay coming up from the 24 from the southeast. And on the eastern side of Nashville, you can see a lot of congestion here at the 2440 merger. That's always been a trouble spot in the Nashville area. The rest of the loop in Nashville area looks pretty clear this morning as you go into that area in North Carolina this morning. The D.C. area and Baltimore, again, typical slowdowns. You got all the way around over 3/4 of the loop here in the north and northwestern side of Baltimore. And even coming down 95 towards the D.C. area, you can expect some major delays. And the D.C. area loop, again, north and the eastern side looks pretty bad, and a few delays down here south of Springfield by Annandale, and then again over at Centerville on 66 coming in and out of the D.C. area. Expect some slowdowns as well this morning. Our weather. You see, not too bad to start out. We got little showers up there in the northwest. We've got also some rain up here in New York, but just some scattered little storms, pop-up showers, if you will, in the Michigan area. So not a bad start off to the day. And as we go through the winds are a little bit kicking up here in the California area. And as we go through the day, you can see it's going to mushroom there into Utah, Arizona, Southern California. And again, out here in the D.C. area, you could see some 30-mile-an-hour gusts. We'll keep an eye on that because you could see some 40, 45-mile gusts as we go through the day. The evening, the northeast clears up, but you can still see, even at 9 p.m., we're still going to have some winds in Arizona up in that Flagstaff area. And then it dies down, and then tomorrow will kick up as it moves into the Midwest. It does diminish with some of its intensity, but again, we shouldn't be too bad. It should be all navigable in the wind for the next couple of days. We got that ugly little sign up here, the snow coming into the Rockies at Wyoming, western Denver for tomorrow. Today, you're going to see some in the northern part, some snow up in the northern part of Nevada, but the rest of the country looks pretty good. And the temperatures, just to show you, we're going to be in the 40s, so that snow is going to be mainly in the upper elevations. As it gets to the road level, we should be okay as we go through. Hey, we're going to take a quick break and be right back with some safety.
Welcome back to BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. Buckle up, Bob. We talked a little bit about Amazon today. I don't know if you heard that about they're just kind of taking over the world, it seems like. You know what, we did a little, and here I am right now. I have my Amazon Basics pad right here. All my Amazon Basics battery drive safe, Dave.
You just walk around with a battery, Sir Rick? I'm just curious. I get the pad thing.
Hold this for me. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn you on with my battery.
By the way,
there's a bad dad joke.
Again, it's a dud.
Oh, man, I can't think of a better time to segue into what we can possibly be talking about this week in safety. Buckle up.
This week, we're going to talk about some of the top 5 ways to prevent accidents and loss of life. And these are not from highway numbers, associations. These are from drivers. I went to some websites, found the drivers themselves when interviewed what can they do that is they consider the best to stop. And one of the things that was given right off the bat was they used the word think and said it was a simple, one of the drivers said it was such a simple word that means so much. And so we're going to kind of keep that at the top all week so that everybody sees it. Hey, professional drivers should never skip any safety steps when driving. That was from drivers, right? If steps are skipped, your safety and the safety of others traveling on the road is compromised, right? Common sense. Remember, no matter how hot your load is, it is always better to arrive safely. And then they clapped it off by saying nothing is worth risking your life for. We say that all the time, but I just found it amazing when I went to research this. that a lot of the drivers, out there, this is their model. This is what they believe in. And we've just got to step it up. We talk all the time about the industry. We've got to get the industry to buy into that. These are the professionals out there on the road that are saying this. And their number one safety thing, again, and it happens to be one of our lead twos, our number one, is to be alert. And part of that, what they gave was, hey, know everything that's going around you. Always look well ahead down the road. When rolling down the highway, especially in traffic, you must always plan an escape route, right? We see a lot of the videos where that's just not happening. And then being well rested will keep you at your best. So again, these are all drivers. These are not something that some organization is suggesting due to statistics. These are what professional drivers are saying is their number one top priority at preventing accidents and loss of life.
All right, good stuff there. And Drive Safe, Dave, I heard be alert, right? And being alert is a key. We got to stay focused on the road. We talk about that. And sometimes, in my mind, I always got to put words with it. So we'll have a little word game here. We'll start with me. We'll go to you, Drive Safe, followed by Buckle Up Bob. And we're going to use the word be alert, the words be alert. And we're going to put, I don't know what you call it, like a rhyme next to it. Mine will be be alert, eat dessert. Drive Safe, Dave. Loser buys lunch.
Don't wind up in the dirt.
Be alert. No. That's just like 2 words. Come on. 2 words.
Just 2 words?
Yes. Be alert, no dessert. Or be alert, eat dessert.
Be alert, have cert.
Be alert and never flirt.
Oh, you know what? Be alert, never flirt would have been a good one. But you lost, so you're buying lunch.
Would have been
Too many words.
Oh, you not enough, me too many. I think we've been Alabama.
He's a star. He's a star, man. We always give the stars another effort on that.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, goodness.
When you talk about being alert, and we do that, and really that's a great, alert is really a lot of things. It's not only is it staying focused, not only is it, the opportunity to make sure you understand what's going on around you, but look at yourself and make sure that you're well rested, right? And that you're in the right frame of mind, and that it starts with you. It starts with a driver. And when you talk about being alert, it really means that, to me, it means being prepared for what's going on and just making sure that you're ready and in the game to go into the game and do it right.
Yes, and it doesn't mean be awake. It means be alert. And, investigating a incident, if you will. But it looks like it happened in the first 35 minutes of the driver's shift. And again, we've talked about this several times. I just want to remind everybody out there, there's a thing called sleep inertia, and it usually takes about 45 minutes for you to actually be alert. You may be awake. I can liken it to, there's times where I can get up and I'm awake because I'm walking, but I will still misjudge the doorway and you'll bump your shoulder. That's that sleep inertia. And that's what can happen when a driver is sleeping in a bunk, right? Probably didn't get 8 hours, maybe got 5 or 6, and then they get up right away and they jump right into it. Hey, you got to take that time, slow down, and make sure that you're awake. Walk around the truck, we've heard from drivers, to just kind of wake themselves up to be more alert.
Are you saying doing a pre-trip?
Yeah, that would be the pre-trip theory. That's the pre-trip theory.
A pre-trip works. It helps to wake you up. Great idea, if no other reason. You know what? And be alert, don't flirt. As I continue to mask the victory's on. Producer, help me out a little bit.
You're on your own.
I will tell you that it's, when you say, but you did mention this, and I'm going, being awake is important too.
Yes.
I mean, you said it's not just being awake.
Just because your eyes open.
But yeah, just because but being awake is good too. That's a good start of being alert. I'm going to go out there on a limb.
It's got to start somewhere. Hey, we got some videos this morning as we go through, again, kind of a tailgate situation here. The speed is down, but you're still tailgating. And then, again, we talk all the time about pack your patience, right? You're going to kind of make this, really, it's illegal right here. Yes, it cleared up, but there's just no reason to be that impatient, right? Hey, these rural highways have all these side streets. You can see it's tree lined. There could be something that you miss. Very hard to see here, and you just got to remember to be patient in these cases, especially on these rural highways.
Yeah, be alert, don't divert.
Wow.
He's still trying. He just hates losing, don't he? Hey, here's another one, Four-wheelers in a hurry. And boy, great job by this driver, right? Had slowed down, kept the space, and this is why this is so important. Know everything. You know, we talked this morning. Know everything that's going on around you, and you can see the four-wheeler is going to make a decision and then say, "Oops, can't see," right? And then all of a sudden, whoa, there's somebody out there. We see that all the time on the quick lane changes. And spoiler alert, teaser, that will be one of the things the drivers have recommended later on in the week. Hey, stoplights, right? Plan to stop, right? This driver was bobtailing, but again, just got to make sure that intersections are dangerous. We've seen it. It turned yellow right there, but because of the speed and not preparing to stop, there was that point of no return. And so they ran a yellow, which again, not illegal in itself, but it's just not the safest option, folks. Intersections are dangerous. We've seen people run red lights, and when you do this, you run your risk of being hit. So slow down and be prepared to stop. Again, we're in these secondary highways, right? This one, great job of this driver. Not all hard brakes are bad. Great choice. And you can kind of see, yes, you get a glimpse of the one pole, but it's kind of hard to see. This one's kind of a hidden intersection. Didn't really see any signs back here. You can see the one on the left, and then you come around the curve, and boom, there it is. So, again, you got to be mindful of that. Know the area around you, as they say. So, good job by this driver. Hard brakes aren't always bad. And then here, reminder, I heard this morning on the radio there was an accident in a construction zone. Great job. Slow down. Remember, it's required by law to slow down 20 to 25 miles when you come into emergency cruise. So great job keeping the space, making sure that now this driver is slowing the traffic by. You can see this truck starts to gain space here. This driver stays and keeps the any traffic behind them is also being forced to slow down as they go through here. Great job at controlling the space behind you as well and helping those emergency crews out there. And that's what we had.
Yeah, we see the construction one. I think that one, it's heavy on all of our hearts when we see the construction zones because we've seen lives taken in those. We've seen the ambulance and the fire departments being ran through with the big truck, and I'm sure we see it the same with the four-wheelers. And just another reminder is that, you know what, you can't slow down too much when you get in these areas. We owe it to them. They're out there in a bad situation already, right? We can't make it worse. They're out there driving safe because somebody was involved, usually in an accident, a rollover, something happened,
that was
and
what was
now
happening.
they're out there, and we must give them the space. We've got to reduce the speed because, my goodness, they're out there in the dark and it's dangerous, and it just takes another vehicle, car, motorcycle, big truck, losing focus, running into them, and now it's even worse.
Yeah, and as you looked at that video of that accident scene, there was a truck on its side, and there were wreckers there trying to pick it up. And you notice you have plenty of the large wreckers there in position working to upright that vehicle. And these guys are out there doing every single thing that they can to clear this road. And we just got to be mindful of their job is important too, right? And what they do out there, they expose themselves to the danger. And you can say, well, there's a ton of lights and we slowed down. But too many times we see people don't see. Too many times we see people plow in. And we've had firemen on the station here talking about how dangerous it is out there. And it's something that we got to continue to talk about and make sure that we are fully aware of what's going on around us and that we provide the safest example of what we're doing out there by slowing down, putting on the flashers, and making sure everybody sees.
Yes, and the other video we saw the hard brake and coming to the red light. And again, you know what? Not all hard brakes are bad brake. We heard that Buckle Up Bob say that. At the end of the day, we've got to brake before something bad happens. And we love this right here when you notice it and you don't fall into you don't fall for the yellow light, right? You don't fall for that thing that says, well, should I go or should I? You were already slowing down.
Yeah.
Yes, you have a brake in there, but you know what? You were able to slow down and stop safely, and that's what we've got to do. We must always have the ability and to stop before we hit somebody. And I know it sounds like duh, right? Duh, but we don't want an accident. We want you staying focused on that road, looking up ahead, looking at your blind spots. And again, I'm just going to say, we talk about the businesses right now invested into technology. Well, listen, the owner-operators, we're going to encourage you to do the same thing. It's one thing to have the camera that says, wow, you were this close. But, one thing we encourage you, those that haven't done that yet, hey, upgrade to that newer technology. The technology that has that brake assist, that doesn't allow you to follow too close, where technology can come in and make you a safer driver when you're not at your best. And Drive Safe Dave and Buckle Up Bob, what we have seen, and I know we've had some complaints, we get them on the show all the time, but we don't hear that that technology's there to protect us, protect a driver when they're not at their best, when they're not alert, when they are following too close, and that comes into play and stops on its own sometimes before you have the opportunity to hit somebody.
Yes.
And you want to rely, you want to trust in that technology. You want to rely in that technology in a lot of ways, but really the best technology out there on the road today is the driver behind the wheel. He's he or she is the person that's going to make a difference with that mindset, that safety mindset that matters. And if you start that way and you do that, then therein lies the real answer to the industry problem. It really, really starts and ends with the driver out there behind the wheel.
Yeah, and the new technology is, I'm really excited about the in-cab coaching, if you will, because it will tell a driver, hey, you have been 5 miles above the speed limit for 1 minute now. You need to slow down. Hey, your distance is too close. Please back off, right? It gives you that so that if you're at the end of your day and maybe you're not your best, you're starting to get a little fatigued, you're looking for that place to stop, right? You're going to get some help that's going to say, hey, wake up a little bit, be alert, right? You're falling a little too close. It may look like you're okay, but the in-cab's going to give you them signals, and I love that. It's just some more to help coach the drivers and help keep them safe.
Yeah, for sure. And so drivers say, I'm going to challenge you a little bit on here what you said there, because while there's no doubt that the humans is an obvious and important role back there, at the time that the human, and again, it only takes a second to not be at your best, a second to be distracted for something bad to happen, that's when technology does come into play. And at that moment, when you're not alert, Drive Safe Dave, when that driver is not alert, and keep in mind they're driving for 10 hours a day, say, at that 1 minute they're not at their best, technology can come in and make a play that saves life, period.
Agreed. I have no doubt that especially with some of these the new radar systems and the new anti-collision avoidance systems, these technologies they have already proven themselves to be without question the answer to a lot of lives.
Yeah, the IC out there, and I'll challenge you. If you're out there, we have a few minutes in here, and you challenge us on is technology worth it? Or maybe you think you don't need it, and you may have a point on some of this. We'd love to hear from you on BCB Live. You can raise your hand. Type in a question, comment to the producer. You can even email us and let us know. We'll talk about this in the afternoon or the following day as well. But Drive Safe Dave, we do hear the drivers, and it's their right to not have it, right? And that's usually what you hear right now. It's the freedom to not have it. I want to go as fast. I don't need the computer telling me what to do. I'm sure there's other reasons. Cost, right? I can't afford a new truck. That's a great reason. And what do you do at that point?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we've heard, and I've heard many drivers and understand and listen to, and they talk about how the vehicle has stopped, right, on them, or has hit the brakes while they're out there on the road for some phantom signal or some shadow. And that was a lot more frequent. And now as the technology advances and becomes greater and better adapted at what's going on, I foresee a lot of the issues going away.
I know we got a question up there, producer, but before we go there, Drive Safe Dave, my question, I guess, was, well, what about how many times have you stopped? This is going back before e-locks, right? When you were driving out there on the road. How many times did you stop because you thought you saw something? You thought you saw that and what's the difference? You know what? When the computer does
Guilty.
When the truck does it, when the truck sees something, oh my God. But when we were doing that, right? When we were so fatigued, we were seeing bridges that weren't there. T-Rexes running across the street that weren't there. Yeah, trees talking to us on the side of the road. Listen to it, and we were applying the brakes in. I didn't, that was, it's the same thing. But anyway, I want to encourage you. Listen, seriously, if you have a question on that technology, love to hear those. Emails, we'll answer them off hours as well, because I do believe that technology, again, when you talk about price of life, you can't put a price tag on that when you talk about the new fuel efficiencies that the trucks have, right? The 8 miles a gallon, they're not going to break down as much. And yes, just like the 1998 truck or the 2001 truck, good chance you're not going to have a part today if it breaks down anyway, right? I mean, you're going to wait and
It's
all
on
of that.
national back order. I think I've heard that. I've heard that more in the last 6 months than I have. I can't even. I don't even like that. That's like their solid answer now. You pick up. That's how they answer the phone now. They don't even answer hi, how you doing? They just say it's on national back order. That's
It's the new Suez Canal, right? I mean, that's what it was when the Suez had a producer.
Yeah, we got Chook Tim on the line. What you got for us today, sir? How you doing, Chook?
Hey, Mr. Tim.
Hey, Chook Tim, what you got for us? You should be able to unmute your mic there in the corner for us.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We hear you. Good morning.
What's going on, sir?
Yeah, good morning. Yeah. Talking about dry assist that they break it up. It's good in a way, but make sure not on cruise control when you was on a curve. If they detect the other truck around on that curve, they will slam the brake, but the small car is okay. It happens more often if you are on cruise control. So just be aware when you're on a curve. Just take it off.
Great point on that. Drive safe, Dave. Any words of wisdom on the curve? Should we have it? I mean, I don't know what kind of curve we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm hoping that when you exit or either in an ingress or egress from the freeway, I'm hoping that you're already off of the cruise and that you're slowing down, entering the curve. You always want to reduce speed. Entering curve, great point. Make sure you're off the cruise when you go into those curves and you change directions, because you don't want to accelerate or maintain speed when you're changing the direction of a 80,000-pound vehicle.
Yeah, and always a great reminder as well is that if it says 15 miles an hour, go 15 or less miles per hour as well. Producer.
Yeah, we got Curtis Benedict on the line. What you got for us, Curtis?
Morning, Curtis.
Shows that you're unmuted there, Curtis. You should be able to talk now.
All right. Maybe Tim took Curtis's question. Comment on that. All right. Hey, this is BCB Live. We're the safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave. You want to close us out with a prayer?
All right. I'll be happy to. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to say thank you for all things. Father, we are so blessed to be in your presence today, and we ask that you help keep us safe, keep us mindful, and keep us better. Father, we ask that you also protect each and every person out there on the road as we encounter them and and watch what we do to make us a better driver. Father, thank you for all that you will give us in the future as well. We ask all these things in your name. Amen.
This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We'll see you this afternoon.
Bye, everybody.